that's hitting the headlines at the moment, not the newspaper headlines, but in the community, if you like, is that three occupational health workers from a local general hospital at the end of 2020, who were all suffering from the effects of long COVID, decided to trial the units with huge success. And this eventually came to the attention of a journalist called Alice Smiley, who at that stage was bedridden with chronic fatigue as a result of long COVID. And without our knowledge, she borrowed a unit from one of her friends and used it, and was up and about within a week. She then became very interested in the story, obviously, and then looked for a doctor who was an expert in long COVID. And she found a doctor called Dr. Tina Pearce.
Yeah, who's a friend of our show.
Oh, really? Oh, of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I remember now.
yeah,
Well,
yeah. She's been on the show.
probably she's told you her story, but I mean, just very briefly.
Yeah, no, no. Tell it in full. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay, okay. Well, Tina herself is a sufferer of MCAS, which is Mast Cell Activation Syndrome. So she trialed it on herself and was astonished when she didn't have to check all of the ingredients on the menu to make sure that it wasn't going to affect her. She was able to just go out and eat without a problem. And she then trialed it on a number of her patients with long COVID, all with good results. And she then collaborated with Alice Smiley, and as a result of that, Alice Smiley penned a 2-page article in the Mail on Sunday in July 2022. And I mean, the world went crazy as far as we were concerned. I mean, so many people are suffering the effects of long COVID, different symptoms, that it became very, very popular. And we've done some research as a result of questionnaires to some of these users, and the major conditions that they tell us have responded particularly well. And the main one is chronic fatigue. The second one is breathlessness at rest. And then it follows with taste and smell problems as well. And so, I mean, that came to us out of the blue. It's not something that we promoted. I mean, I hadn't even thought about long COVID, to be quite honest, but that's the way things seem to be going. So it came from private individuals trying it themselves, and publicity as a result of that. But you asked the other, well, they fall into 3 major categories, really. From my experience and from my observations and from feedback from customers, it seems to work very effectively on hormonal imbalances, for immune and autoimmune deficiencies, but also for the full range of psychological traumas, from anxiety right through to depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. And indeed, there are microcurrent devices in America that have FDA approval for anxiety, depression, insomnia, etc.